Alright, so the first video got truncated because we had a problem with lights. Yeah, so we are back online. So I want to look at proposal writing, thesis proposal writing. And I want to make a distinction. There is a difference between the proposal we write for academic thesis and then the proposal you write for implementing a project in the field. So I will show all of us the two of them and then how distinct they are. Now let me first of all start with the academic thesis writing and then how to be able to go through the proposal. So I'm sharing my entire screen now. I think I should choose this background, right? And so I'm going to pull up. Now, if you are going to write your thesis, maybe I should increase the font size more, or I can just widen up my. So, if you are going to write your thesis, you need to write a proposal first, and then in writing the proposal, this is the outlay. Let me say that this is not exhaustive. What I have here is not exhaustive. It means that there are some things that can be added, there are some things that can be removed. Again, let me also say that this is not a cast in stone. It will vary from place to place. So one of the distinctions between the academic thesis is that it is quite specific. It's specific in terms of the college you are, it's specific in terms of the faculty you are, and then the department, and of course, the supervisor. There are some supervisors who may want their thesis to be written in a particular format, and then others who may want it in a different format. But in general, there is always a laid-down principle by the university or the institution that all students follow. And then, with respect to KNUST, and then many other universities in Ghana that I know, this is the outlay. And of course, this is for sciences, and of course the other areas too. I know it follows the same pattern. There are other departments or faculties where there will be an organogram or the structure of how the thesis is organized. Then you have to put the structure there, your organogram. Then others too, there is something that you have to test, like a hypothesis testing that may be required. So it all depends on where you are, and then those kind of little differences, your supervisor can just help you to be able to overcome them. But in general, this is how it looks like around here, and then I'm going to run through them quickly. Now, the thesis are structured mostly in 6 chapters. The chapter 1 will take the introduction, and then under the introduction, the chapter 1, it is made of background. The background is where you tell all the story about the problem you are researching in or you are investigating. So, for instance, maybe you want to investigate maybe why there is a low patronage for products from Ghana. So you need to tell us maybe the specific product you are talking about. Tell us everything you know, the background of that product. I mean, how much is that product being produced? How much do we have it in the economy? And how much does it cost to produce it? And how is it consumed? And then what might be the nutrient and whatsoever, or the benefit or the problems whatsoever. Just the background. Now, when you are writing the background, you are not just writing the background anyhow. The background will have to line up with your topic. The topic, for instance, maybe the topic is talking about the reason why people are not patronizing made in Ghana goods. So you should know that your background should be tilted toward things that is making the people not patronizing it. And that's how it is. So that will form your background. Maybe about 6 paragraphs will be enough. Now, when you come to problem statement, the problem statement here we often get confused is we are not looking at the problem of why people are not. You are looking at the problem with respect to the topic. For instance, your topic is about low patronage of made in Ghana goods. That's the topic. So what will be the problem? The problem statement here. The problem statement is going to tell us everything that is associated with the low patronage of made in Ghana goods. The topic is not a problem. Here you are discussing what is making it a problem. For instance, if people are not patronizing made in Ghana goods, it means that we are patronizing what? Foreign goods. And in that case, it affects our currency. And when our currency is being affected, so you are going to list down all the problems that come with low patronage of made in Ghana goods. Because that's what your research is going to be focused on. So you are trying to highlight the problem that is making you to investigate that particular issue. And that's what problem statement comes in. So here you are just listing out all the problems, and not just listing, but trying to explain, throw more light on them. Maybe if you have about 4 of them, it will be okay. And that can also take like maybe a page or something. Now, significance of the study. You cannot do a study that has no importance. So try and highlight. And so in that case, you might be talking about if we tend to patronize, tend not to patronize made in Ghana goods, what does it do? Then you look at the significance. The significance here will say that, okay, the project is going to maybe realign or going to help people to realize the importance of consuming made in Ghana goods. So you practically trying to outline the significance of the study, not the topic. Why you want to do that particular study, what will be the significance in the economy? Is it going to contribute to something? Is it going to explain some myth? Is it going to demystify some myth? Is it going to encourage people to go into production or to patronize something? Those are the significance. Then you list them. Research questions. What is it that is bothering you, that is leading you to be able to embark on that research? Then you list down all the questions. Because there are some things that is bothering you, like unanswered questions, as to why people don't patronize made in Ghana goods. So they have series of things that is bothering you with respect to that. So you list those ones as your research questions. Then you come to your aims and objective. The aim is always the broad objective you want to achieve at the end. At the end, what do you want to achieve with this particular study? Then that particular broad idea or the broad objective you want to achieve, you can break it down, and that will become your smaller objective or your main objectives. They will build up to give us the main aim. So for instance, the main aim is to encourage the consumption of made in Ghana goods. So maybe the specific objectives maybe will be that maybe one, you want to maybe encourage people to go into production of maybe locally manufactured goods or something like that. Then you break them down in such a way that they will all sum up to give you the overall aim. Now, when you finish, you justify. Justification of the study is always an opportunity to explain why this particular study is supposed to be done. It means that if it is not done, there is a problem that will exist, or there is something that will not be solved. Here, you are not trying to, it's like you are trying to convince someone that this study that I am doing, there is a significance. There is a reason why I am doing it. There are instances people do study that has no economic value. It has no health value. It has no objective. It has no impact. Even though everything is done properly, you have the results, it doesn't contribute anything. So you are trying to explain what this particular study will contribute. For instance, the justification here, you say that, okay, if Ghanaians tend to consume their own products, then what is going to happen? The local market is going to go high, the currency is going to be stabilized, the economy will boost, people are going to have employment, and then maybe we are also going to depend less on foreign people control and then subtle colonization or whatsoever. It's about you to be able to justify why there's the need for people to do this, because your study is going to encourage the production of local goods and consumption of it at the same time. Okay, so that is it for chapter 1. Chapter 2, you are just trying to review literature. Literature means you are not the first person who is investigating that particular topic. Other people have said it. Other people have investigated it. People have published papers on it. Now, if it is, we are looking at why Ghanaians don't consume locally produced food or locally produced products in this particular country. So you want to review literature in terms of the kind of things, goods that have been produced in the country here. Maybe if you narrow it to one particular product, let's say clothing, we don't like wearing Ghanaian made in Ghana clothing, then you may want to look at how other people have also researched in it and what they have said. So we are just reporting on other people's works on the same topic or similar topic. And then you can break your literature into smaller parts. And see, then you can talk about products, you can talk about the production lines in Ghana here, and how the raw material that are being used there, they are all part of the literature review towards that particular topic. You break the topic into smaller pieces, and then you review it. You try to bring out what other people have said about that topic, or other people have also written about those subtopics. And that will become your literature review. It allows you to broaden your knowledge on the topic that you are investigating. Now from there, you come to your chapter 3, and that's where you have your materials and methods. Here, we often, where I am, we start with the data. How do you obtain the data? Where are you getting the data from? So you have to talk about the data. How are you going? And so in some places they will say population. That's where I am. So in some places they will say population. So you have to talk about your population, or you talk about your data. If the data you are going to use, you are going to collect the data from, maybe if it is samples that you are going to collect, you need to talk about it. If it is population, what is that particular population where you are going to do the work? Then you come and talk about your sampling. Now, that data, are you just speaking, for instance, let's say, are you just speaking, we are looking at the consumption of locally produced food here. Then you are picking data on that. But the sampling, maybe you may want to just pick a specific product. Then it means that even though we are talking about locally produced food, you have narrowed it down to a particular food. And then you can also narrow it down to a particular location. That becomes your sampling. And then after that, that data will not come just clean like that. You need to find out whether the data, there are some quality issues or whatsoever. And that's where you do your quality checks. Then you go ahead, if there is something you need to clean, so you can do data cleaning, data reshaping, and then data reconciliation. I've done a video on this 3, and then you can check that on my YouTube channel, and then you watch it. Now, after you have done that, you have cleaned your data, you have reshaped it. For instance, if you go to the field to pick data, obviously there will be missing data. There are some people that will not answer some questions. So when you come back, you have to make sure that you clean all those things out and you reconcile them. You might not be the only person who is collecting the data. Someone is also collecting, somebody is collecting. You need to put that data together, and that's what we call data reshaping and reconciliation. You have to make sure that, and apart from that, some people may write different units. Some may write F for female, somebody will write female, spell the whole thing. You have to make sure that they reconcile. If not, there will be different variables. That's what we call data reconciliation. And then at that time, the data is set. The next thing is to now go into data analysis. Your data analysis is going to be based on the way your objectives are. You see, your first data analysis method is answering your objective 1. The second method is answering objective 2, and in that order, up to objective 4. Now, after you have done that, there might be another statistical analysis where you may want to test maybe hypothesis, you may want to look at significance, you may want to look at statistical inferences and other things. That's where you go down into downstream analysis. Some say downstream analysis, some say statistical analysis. And that forms your chapter 3. At this point, it's just about what you are doing. That's where you employ all the tools that you can use for the analysis. Maybe you are using SPSS, you are using R, you are using Python, maybe you are using a specific tool for the analysis, maybe Excel or whatsoever. That's where you have to explain how you are going to employ that particular tool to be able to do the analysis. And so here you are writing like maybe for objective 1 to be able to identify those who are consuming locally produced food as against. So we decided to employ this particular tool which is able to segregate this and this and this. That's how you write it. And then here you are just explaining how you are going to employ the method. And I'm saying that under the data analysis section, it's good that to follow this pattern, to follow the pattern I have put around here, so that way it allows your thesis to fall in line. It follows one after the other. Method 1 is answering objective 1. So you are going to use that particular method to address objective 1. Method 2 is for objective 2, and in that case, Now you have finished. But that may not be all. Then you go down to downstream. Now, when you come to results, now all that you have done, you need to report on what has happened in your methods here, in your chapter 3. When you come to your chapter 4, you have to tell us the results of the data that you were talking about. For instance, you say that you were going to pick saliva sample, or you say that you were going to send questionnaire. Now tell us the questionnaire, how many people did you sample? How many people did you get? Then report on the data. Okay, we were able to interview 4,000 people, and then or we were able to meet up 4,000 people, and then we were able to sample or to interview 400 out of it. That's your sampling. You also report on the quality. From the quality check, we noticed that about 50 people did not answer the questions well, so we took those ones out, or we replaced them with the mean. And then, so you just explain that's where the results is coming in. Then the results on the cleaning, you also say something a bit, not plenty. Now you now come to the results on the data analysis. This is where you write plenty on the results. Here, this is also where you paste all the graph and then the plot that you have generated using the method that you employed in the chapter 3. So for instance, you also do it accordingly. Results for objective 1 or for method 1. I think I should have put here method 1. So your result for method 1, which is answering objective 1, should be here. So you use method 1 to address objective 1. So you now have to bring that results out here. If it is a plot, then you put the plot there, then explain what that plot means, and then whether it is answering your objective or not, now it's left onto you. The same way you do for the rest. And then you also go down, you also have a result on the downstream analysis. So you see that everything is consistent, and then in that order. Now when you go to your discussion, you also discuss them accordingly, the way, so you can have a brief discussion on the data, maybe, and in the case of discussion, you are kind of like saying that you are not the only person who has done this kind of work. Now when you are discussing the results, you are comparing your results to what other people have done. So in case of the data, are you the only person who has collected the data, or we pick the data of like 300 people, and then you are trying to make some sense from it? Okay, so you are discussing your results on the data. So okay, we analyze maybe, let's say, 300 people from this particular jurisdiction. But somebody who might have analyzed the same kind of data, then you reference that kind of person. It's kind of like this is the time you are now discussing the whole results and doing comparison. You also follow the same thing. You discuss the sampling. You can discuss the quality checks. Maybe this part may not be too necessary, so you can just throw maybe 5 lines and that will be okay. Now, where you need to discuss extensively is where you are discussing your objective 1 and what came out of it. Here, some people prefer that you put subtopics, and then you can put your subtopic there, which the subtopic will have something to do with objective 1. Then you now come down there, the results for objective 1 is already out, then you now discard that particular results. Then you realize that, okay, you were thinking that people don't consume Ghanaian food, but from the analysis, you've noticed that at least 65% of Ghanaians actually patronize what is made in Ghana goods. And for that matter, this particular study was also done somewhere, and then they also noticed that or you also realize that your results is consistent to theirs, or yours is different. And then that is how you go to the next one. You also discuss like that in that systematic order. Then you also discuss your downstream analysis and what you got over there. Then you go to your conclusion. That's your chapter 6, and then you write your conclusion. So that is where you write, or some people start with summary. You summarize everything that you have written in the chapter 5, which is your discussing. You summarize it into, let's say, 2 paragraphs. In the entire study, what have you found? Then you summarize it, and then pay your conclusion. Your conclusion will be based on your aim, the aim that you had established earlier in the study, the main aim of the work, which is here. That's where your conclusion should be based on. Then, if the conclusions are many, let it be based on the objectives, as to whether the objective was achieved or not. Then you can use the conclusion section to be able to do that. Then you make recommendations for further research work. Maybe in the course of the work, you've noticed that maybe there are some things that can be added or can also be investigated on. Maybe where you have stopped, somebody can continue from there. Then in the course of the work, what were some of the problems that you encountered? That's your limitations. Then you will have to list them down there. Maybe the tools you use were having some kind of faulty, or the algorithm were not having all the parameters that you need to be able to get there. So you list them out. and then you have your references, and then your work is complete. So this is how, in academic era or in academic environment, this is how the thesis is being organized from chapter 1 up to chapter 6, and I've thrown a little light on them, on each of them. Now, if you're also writing a proposal for, let's say, something that has to do with implementing a project in the field, it's a little bit different. And that one, I'm not going to waste your time on this. I'm just going to show you how to be able to use Microsoft Word to be able to do that. And so now I am done with this. So let's go to and look at how to use. So I'm going to go to Microsoft Word here, and then when you are on I'm already on Microsoft Word like this. So go to File like this, click on File. Then when you come here, you will see template for all the Microsoft products which are there. Microsoft Word product, like if you want to do a cover letter, you want to do invitation or whatsoever, snapshot calendar, whatsoever, they are all here. Now click on more templates. So this small thing here is going to come. Click over there in the search box and then type proposal like this, and then do enter. You should have internet before. You see there is something that comes here, and so you can come here and click on create. And now this is a typical proposal that is there. Now this is what is Olsen Harris Limited proposal for services. So it means that he's going to provide some services somewhere, and that's a project he's going to implement on what is in the background. You can use this particular template and then follow to do your own project. For here, now you can come and read whatever that is here. They are saying that proposal for services at the heart of an independent contractor's sales toolkit. It combines key company information, and then so this here you are given the background of whatever that you have. So for independent contractors, so he has given the overview on top here. You can actually edit this out. Then you come here and have an overview of the whole project that you want to implement in the field. So use the overview to provide a brief summary of the reason for the proposal and how you can best support the client needs. So in this case, the proposal or the project you want to implement in the field, how is it going to affect the people there? Depending on whatever you want to achieve, then give an overview around here and come and look at the example that the person has given over here. Now you have to also give an objective or two. So come and look at how the objectives is here, and then also put down your own objective here. So this subtopic there, keep them like that. Then the content, you can change it to suite. So you have include a purpose statement. There, so you have a statement of purpose. Why do you, same thing like problem statement. Why you want to implement the project in the field there. Then you have it over there. Now come here. You see that here they say the need number 1. So improve response time for customer questions. That's the reason why they want to implement the project in the field. Maybe for you, you may be talking about, let's say, a nutrition part of it. Maybe people are malnourished. You want to implement the project and you want to know why do you want to do it. Maybe one, you want to improve their nutritional requirement, and then you want to solve 2. Maybe you want to solve a malnourished problem, or you want to help in solving the problem of stunting growth and whatsoever. So you have need 1, need 2, need 3. Now, and what are the opportunities that are there? Now you also have your goals and whatsoever. Just read whatever that is here, and then you also implement. Then you look at the solution, and then you will have your recommendations, and then you come here. Here, this is where they say they have our proposal. If you follow the whole of this, by the time you finished, you would have organized a whole proposal, and then it would have been ready for you to be able to implement it in your field. So just check how the whole thing is being done, and then you can come here. You have your timelines, deliverables. What time do you want to achieve this? What time do you want to achieve that? Because it is a field project, there must be a breakdown of deliverables so that you can measure your progress of the project. If you don't do that, how are you going to know whether the project is progressing or not? Sometimes after the deliverable, you have to also break that one down to daily task. So in a day, what is it that you are supposed to do? And then what will be the outcome? This is how field project proposal is being written. Just follow this. You see, you have the milestone 1 and the date and the end date, and then the duration, and then you follow this table, and then you also just follow it until you get to conclusion, and then you have the name or whatsoever over there. Thank you, and then your proposal is ready. Now I've shown us the two set of proposals and how to be able to write them. The first academic one, which is here, but what is it? We all, I showed it to all of us, and I said the second one, just summarizing that, the second one, which if you are writing the proposal to implement a project in the field, real life project. This one is for academic work, like you want to collect your master's, you want to collect your PhD. This is how you follow it. In fact, every university has a whole book for how you should be able to follow to write this. Just go to the university website and then you are going to get it. I've done a video on how to serve KNUST website, and then when you go there, if you want to know how to be able to write thesis for KNUST, I've done a video and I've highlighted how to be able to get it on the university website. It's actually there and very easy to be able to navigate and get it. If not, you can also follow the little that I've said here, and then you can make sense from it. If you are implementing the project in the field, I've already mentioned it. First of all, you go to Microsoft Word, open it like this, and then you go to File. Then you go and look up for all the templates which are here. Click on More Templates. Come to this small search online, and then just write the proposal, and then you then do enter. It's going to come out with this particular thing you have here. That's a sample proposal. Then you click on that. Then it will ask you to create. When you click on create, then it's going to give you. Now, after you have finished editing, everything here can be edited. You just read it, and then you also put your own information there. When that is done, then you can just come here and then click here, save as. Then you save it either on your desktop or something like that, and then it is there. Then you can always have it, and then you can always use it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just how you are able to do this. It's not too much that if you are interested, just comment. The one that I've already saved, I'll send it to you or in the comment box, and then you can have it. It's that simple for you to be able to write a whole proposal, whether it is academic proposal, whether it is a proposal to implement a project in the field. Just follow the two videos and trust me, the two scenarios, and trust me, you're going to be able to do it just easily. It's not hard at all. Thank you, and that's your video for today. If you like, why don't you follow me, share the video, and allow other people to forward it to also benefit. My name, as usual, is Big But Bright. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.